one or two of the best perimeter guys in Brandon and Jabari out there now for a few games. Obviously, you guys have won, but how does that change for you? What does that change for you guys?
Jabari and Brandon are great players, and it's obviously great to have them on the floor. But we have a roster full of very capable players, capable shooters, and you play the game to win, no matter who you have on the team, and everybody's on the team for a reason because they can play. So um, it'd be great to have them out there. But that being said, it's whoever's on the court. That's who we're gonna win with.
Christian, you have gone through what, two ACL tears and two ACL surgeries now. The first time without the brace. Past two games, career highs. What have you felt has been the biggest change for you this season, and what's been the biggest adjustment?
I mean, obviously the biggest adjustment, and change and adjustment is my role on the team, I feel like.
You're actually playing.
Yeah, I'm playing. My teammates seem to trust me. Our coaches trust me. I'm not saying that the coaches last year didn't, but at the same time, it helps my role, and that's a big. I don't know how to go into that anymore, but yeah.
Coming into the year, would you have expected to be starting?
That was my whole goal in the off season, to work myself into that position. I felt like if I put the work in and did what I needed to do, I would definitely be there, and that's what I did.
How much more? How much more work did you have to do to get over the hump, to not have the knee brace anymore? Because I know you had him almost all of last season. How much more work did you have to put in, or was it just it was going to come off this year one way or the other?
It was going to come off. Immediately after the season ended last year, I took it off, and I started to work out without it. And obviously I wasn't going to be in contact like I was in the season, so it would be an easier transition to when I actually came up to this part of the season. So just experience without the brace and having that whole off season to strengthen it really got me comfortable with it, and to the point where I don't even realize it.
What did Coach Martin and the coaching staff tell you when they first came in? Because they didn't know you from Adam, and you hadn't had a whole hell of a lot of playing.
It's just with Coach Martin, nothing's ever given, so you have to earn everything. There's nothing I could tell him. You have to show him. He's a guy that preaches toughness every day in practice, and I think we've all had our ups. I've had my ups and downs in practice, but I think that I really grown in toughness this year, and I think that that's what he's looking for in the team. Once again, he couldn't tell me anything that. He's just got to see with his eyes. He's got to get results.
You guys are two of the only guys left on the team that had Jorge.
Yes.
How much did his toughness and his moxie, you've been diving all over the place and really making those hustle plays that Tyrone says. How much has that influenced you?
I think it's influenced me a lot, actually. That's great you brought that up, because I'll never forget some of the things that Jorge did, hustled out there, making plays for his teammates. It helps the momentum of the game, and they're huge plays.
What was it like seeing him again in New York?
I wasn't able to see him. He left before the game, but Coach J. John had let me know that he said hi and good luck and all that, but we did miss him. So.
Did you wind up getting to see him, or did he?
I didn't get to see him either. I think we got in really late, and so that day before was kind of gone for us. But so we missed Jorge. But it's great to you think back on some of the guys you played with, and he's worked really hard. He worked really, really hard to make it, and he did. So it's great for him.
Weird seeing him without the ponytail though.
Yeah, that was weird. When he cut his hair. That was really weird.
So different.
Yeah.
What did you guys see out of Wisconsin? It's going to be a big game.
Nothing right now. We're focused on Eastern Washington, and we could be playing the Lakers on the 22nd, but we still wouldn't be focused on them. We have a game that can make us either we could lose it or we can win it, and it's going to go on a record either way. So we got to focus on that one first.
Yeah.
What do you see at Eastern Washington?
Eastern Washington, they're off to a great start. I mean, they have guys on the floor that can score in multiple ways. They're putting up 80, 90 points a game. So they've been real successful offensively. So we're going to really have to focus on the defensive end on our scouting report. Yeah.
Is there any one thing in particular you remember Jorge kind of teaching you or imparting to you, or one moment that you remember where he particularly whooped your butt in particular?
No, not necessarily, but I do know that he was a leader by example. And he was a quiet guy on the court, but his presence, you could feel his leadership, and that's something that I took away from. Like, I can be vocal at times, but at the same time, it's almost more effective to lead by example.
Boy, a team like Eastern Washington that's putting up those big numbers, you guys have not been able, or you guys have mostly played games that have been pretty low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
So what does it kind of do to your mindset? You know you're playing against a team that's been putting them up. You guys haven't done that. Where do you guys kind of fall at the end of the game?
I mean, I think it's our goal to just hold them.
You know, we played Princeton. You know, they grinded out on offense. They run the shot clock down, minimize possessions. Wyoming does kind of the same thing, and so that's just kind of how the tempo of the game was going to be. And the way that we play is a defensive-minded kind of game, so that's just how it'll be. If they want to run the shot clock down, then that's fine. We're going to play defense for the whole time, and we're going to get that rebound. We're going to go out and do what we do. So whatever Eastern Washington is going to do, they like to shoot. They like to put up big numbers, so we'll do our best to minimize that. And, I mean, I think we've proven we can score with the best of them, so we'll come back the other way.
In terms of the defensive mindset, how much of what you guys have done this year has maybe been focused on limiting shots at the rim and then limiting kind of your three-point shots? Because you guys have been very successful at doing those two things so far, even though the three-point may not be your jurisdiction necessarily.
Yeah, defensively, I mean, we're taught to take away everything. We always have a scouting report for if there's a three-point shooting big, you know, we will try and take that away, whether that's switching on the perimeter on ball screens or any other way we might do that. In the post, obviously, we're going to try as hard as we can to not let them score down there. But our defensive principles focus on, we're not necessarily giving anybody open shots. We're working as hard as we can to take away everything that they're good at.
Yeah.
That said, when you look back at the tape against Princeton, and they were hitting shot after shot. In their first 9, what do you look at?
Well, we did not adhere to the scouting report at the beginning of that game. We had gone under screens and dribble handoffs like we were not supposed to, and they stepped back and hit those shots like we knew they would, and so that's one of those things that, you know, it's a mental focus kind of thing.
Anything else? Christian, was there a point at which when you were, after, say, you got your second surgery, where you were at all contemplating, okay, maybe somebody's trying to tell me something?
Nah, I mean, after my first one, I mean, it's hard not to think, like, oh, man, I don't know if I want to do this. Like, I don't want to go through this ever again, you know? And it's just like when it happens, it's like, all right, time to get through this again. That was immediately when it happened to me. I was like, all right, I'll just do it again. I know what I've been through. At this point, I had already hurt my knee. It was only going to be stronger. So, I mean, self-motivation was big for me. I never really was discouraged after the second one.
Was it part of it like, okay, I know what I have to do now, I've done this before?
Yeah, definitely that helped. It definitely helped. Because every day, like, I've been through it before, so it just helped you get through it that much easier.